And Dylan, why don't you show your screen? And let's see your pie chart. Who is on the top there on the hill? Is that me? Okay. So you're running your, let's see what happened. Yeah, it is, looks like it's working. So see what I'm going to do. I'm going to request control. And I'm going to delete one of the files here. Did you do pull? By the way, did you do pull?
Yes.
Okay. In a second, we'll see. And I'm going to look at your project. Looking at your project. I'm looking at your setting. Yeah, I can tell you did. If you notice, I added this one. I'm going to go over it in a minute. Okay. I put the stuff in the apps. And if you have a good eyes, yeah, I didn't put those one. I thought I did. Hold a second. Account. Common. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. But there is a file here. It shouldn't be there. How come it works? It's not really gonna work. Hold a second. It shouldn't because I deleted that file. Let's see. Hey, you ended home, huh? It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't work.
Dr. Amos.
Yeah.
It brought for us the error, but we had to add it in pgadmin.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Hold a second. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me because it's responding and you shouldn't have that.
Yeah,
So,
it brought for us the error about connection.
so hold on, unless he's using caching. Bear with me a second. Let me go back to here. You really don't have the database. I deleted the database. Remember there was a project .db. I deleted it. It's not here anymore. So I don't know which database he's using. If you look at the setting,
Dr. Amos.
bear with me one second. And the div, if you look at the div, see, I made a new database. It's supposed to go to this database, so something is really strange. Bear with me a second. Bear with me.
We already created it.
I'm trying to focus. 1 second, I will listen to you. You're probably right. You probably know what the error already before me, which is good. I'm going to do the following. 8010. Use a different port. It is working. I can't believe that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Hold a second. Admin. Do you have this database in your? I don't think you do.
We created the database.
Ah, you did?
Yes.
Ah, well, I knew you are smarter than I am. There is an expression in Hebrew says that there's two people that a person cannot jealous at. It's his student and his son. So I'm not jealous that you are smarter than me. So this is beautiful. You made me happy. Okay, you recognized that after I did the upgrade, I really connected. That's beautiful. I'm so impressed. Beautiful. Really. I'm very impressed. Brenda, did you understand what he did?
Yes, we all did.
I know, I know. I'm just joking. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. You realized there was a file here called projects.db. I deleted it. I created a div. Later on, we will talk about prod, which is for production. That's a whole topic. It's a heavy duty. So let's leave it for now. We get there. Thank God it's all worked perfect, so we don't need to deal with it. And you created a directory, you created a database called high school edu, you created the user, you gave it permissions, blah, blah, blah. And then you ran make migration, migrate, is that right?
Yes.
And then what did you do? Did you run also create?
Super user.
Exactly. And which password did you give him?
Admin.
I knew you will do that. I call it SQL1 PSS.
And we use different passwords.
Beautiful. I'm very impressed. That's beautiful. Beautiful. So, Mark, tomorrow they will go over that with you as well. I want you to join our meetings on a regular basis. We will meet. We meet almost every other day around noon or 1 or around noon, most of the 11 noon, and we work on out of the courses, and they are already certificate 3. What I really want in certificate 3 is really being able to be a consultant and work as a team. So now what I would like to see, Brenda, first of all, I want to make fun of Brenda. Can I? So I'm going to break this one. We're coming back to these projects, okay? But we promised Brenda to work on her projects today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop participant sharing. Beautiful job. And Brenda, I want to show you something. I'm going to share. I'm going to share. And I'm going to go to another project. I'm going to work this one. I'm going to go to this one. Why did I get this one? I'm in the high school. No, I don't want this one. I want the other one. This one. And I'm going to go here. I think I'm using the same. We go to the other one.
I get it 100.
And let's look at this application, Brenda. You're familiar with this one? I think so. Familiar with this one?
Yes.
Okay. Did you notice mine is shorter, and if I scroll down, you see what happened?
Yes, I do see.
That's pretty cool. Now is the most important one. Look at what happened when I say I didn't click on import. What happened when I click on machinery?
It brings a graph.
It's different than yours, isn't it?
Yes.
Am I right?
You're right.
You do it again. I got the export. I didn't click on the import, so the import is not down yet. When I click on it, bingo. So what did he do? Behind the screen, he did bring the import already. And he was smart enough to bring it. Over here, I will repeat. It's so important. That's what makes super program than a regular program. You know, you can make what we had already on yours, and you say, this is okay. You know, so click twice, big deal. You know what I mean? Not really. When you're dealing with the real companies, it's not really. A real company, they're expecting, when I click here, I would like to see the chart on the right side without having to click twice or whatever, or I move to the import. And you expect it to work as the human behavior expect. So when I click here now on the bar, I expect it to turn to be a bar. When I click here on the pie, I expect it to be a pie. When I click here, I expect it to change. This is a nice functioning program. Now it seems like, wow, not a big deal. It's a huge big deal. There's a whole topic, which is also part of this certificate 3. By the way, it's the same topic exists in Python as well. It's in JavaScript and in Python. It didn't used to be in JavaScript 20 years ago, 15 years ago. It's only recently, in the last 5, 10 years, they added the same functionality. What's really going on here? Okay, so the next topic we're going to learn, okay, it's this one. But first, I want you to finish what you have done already. And after you write it up, okay, then I will teach you this material and you add another section to your project saying, okay, this is level, okay level, but we're going to go and study a topic called asynchronics, okay, versus synchronic. And that allows us to do beautiful stuff, which you usually cannot do. There are certain things in every language which are special. I give you a special one function that you have it in Python. You don't have it in JavaScript. If you want to make the program tell him, wait for 5 seconds, stop for 5 seconds. So there's a function called sleep. Sleep, like sleep, and you write 5,000, it's 5,000 milliseconds, meaning 5 seconds, it will wait. There's no function like that in JavaScript. Okay, that's one topic. So how will you make a function like that if you don't have it? How will you mimic it? So you can mimic it. Another topic, you know, when I refresh here, I downloaded the export. The truth of the matter is, I could tell the program without the user know, download also the import. But if the user, at the same time, if the user wants to scroll, it will not stop him. I repeat it. Let's say I'm refreshing. I need to show something to the user, so it took a little time and to show it to him. By the way, even that one we can improve. Okay, even that one I can improve. Because when I'm downloading now the whole export, I mean, I'm downloading really everything. I could download only the first 10. And as it starts scrolling, I will continue downloading and it will not even recognize. That will work much faster, okay? But let's say he downloaded only the export and he's looking at the data. I can make the program download the input without the user even knowing. You got it? At the same time, he's scrolling. Is that right? So it has to have the program has to have 2 brains. One to deal with the user, at the same time, communicating to the server to download some other stuff. Got it? Now, and that's the next topic. It's not for today. I just wanted to introduce it to show that our next topic is going to be this one. But to appreciate that, I would like to finish your project. Fair enough?
Fair.
Okay, so let's give you the sharing and we continue where we stopped last time. Oh, beautiful. I see some write up. You know, I like people that write. The harder things in life is to write. How about we run the project so we see it? We'll come back to that in a second. Go ahead, show the main screen. Beautiful. So you click on the export. By the way, that's another, you see, Brenda,
Yes.
it's very natural that a user would like the export to be shown without clicking on the export. Is that right? See, you're getting let me ask for in your program, you have to, if you refresh, it doesn't show anything. That's not a very natural thing for a person that want to use your system. They would like to see already some data. Doesn't matter, you can put export or import. You got it? So you would like it to
Yes.
immediately, as if you clicked. This is the way it makes sense to see the first screen already with the data, correct? So we will do that next time, okay? The next part we did is when we click here, we don't have the import down, so we just gave a message that's really for us to study what's really happening. We don't have the import downloaded yet, so therefore now it's going to download it, but is not smart enough to download what it's supposed to download, and after that to show me the chart. So I have to click again right here. But since all the data is already down there, every click I do, it automatically will be shown. I go to the export, we did already a good job. We kept the memory, we're not going to the server again, okay? Everything is already there. I can click, I go to the import, immediately shown because it is, let's say the title is jumping up, so it's not that convenient, okay? I click on any other category, even from the import, the chart is changing as it's supposed to. So everything is working perfectly, but it's not 100% from user easy of use or flowing or a higher level. It's still working fine, but not perfect. We will fix it. You will see. I think even this level, it's extremely impressive. There is so many things we have done. Last time, I just repeating what we did last time. We explained how Brenda has took the data from the Uganda Board of Statistics. She put it in Excel. We went over the whole process of explaining how those Excels were uploaded to the database. We showed that this function has done the job. We showed also that there is a button. That's what we did last time. We also last time learned a bit about this get data function, which I expect everyone to know by heart. literally studied by heart. How do I pull the data from a database? Okay? And you will see, we will learn even more sophisticated ways in the future. In fact, in machine learning, I teach them how you fetch data directly with an SQL language and use a pivot table. This one will be beautiful for pivot table. We didn't use it here, but we'll wait. Can't study everything in one day. So the function get data, everybody needs to know it by heart. Brenda is expert now. Really utilize her knowledge, and repeat and repeat. Don't be shy, you know. And the most important things, please know this. PD underscore, it is a data frame. I did not teach you that, okay? That will be one of the first topics in machine learning about Panda and NumPy, okay? Here, those two you did learn. Product and source are query sets. And that we did last time. Please watch the video. Then we said, who is calling this function? So we're going back to the views that Brenda have done. When we look, this one, it's a function by itself, and we covered it last time, so we're not going to go over that again. Sorry, this one we will. This one we did last time, so we're not going to go over that one. This one is a very important function. Get source data. So we made like a nice function that all the job of it's to get data, okay? And why do we use it? We'll see in a minute, okay? In order to really to understand the flow of the program, we go to the URL. We know that the first things we get, it's the index. So when we call the index, this is really the first function being called. In another word, when we refresh here, we're actually getting to this function. Okay, so what happened when this function just operating? Okay, and the first thing is I'm keeping the title. I'm creating an instance of the objects algo UE, and we talked about it a lot last time. This one was defined in here. And the only things we do in the constructor, it's calling his parents algo, which is, I bought it from another course of mine, machine learning, and has a lot of stuff. We're not using everything, but we use some function. Please go and watch the videos from last time. And after that, I'm putting the data using the get data. So this function get data, it's a very nice to always have in an object when you're working on a project. So you get all the data, not always, you might even have several of them. You don't want to pull all the data like we do here, okay? You might want only for, you might want to use it only for a part of the data. And as the user click different places, you want to pull different part of the data. You might make a function like this one and have it get a variable. And based on that variable, you give a different types of data. We will see it in the future. For now, we just did a simple get data. And as we saw last time, we got all the data of the year data. This is holding the 4 columns, as you remember. Using values, okay, it's preparing the data so I can use it in the data frame. I give it also, this is only the 4 columns I'm taking. The query set has 5 columns really. So the ID as well. I'm not using the ID, so that's why I'm taking only those 4 columns. I still have a query set. Query set, I'm turning it to a data frame. Data frame is in Panda library, has a function called form records, and that becomes to be like a nice table, columns, rows, And there's so many functions it has. It can even make charts automatically. Beautiful object. We'll talk about it when we talk to machine learning. Now, in addition to this data frame, we got all the record of the source. We have only 2 rows there, export and import, and the products, all the products that we have export and import for them. So those 3, I'm bringing back or sending the return is really sending it to the view. So beautiful. Now I have the view. I want to show it. I want to use it. So I'm transferring it to the template. And I'm transferring the title, transferring the product. I'm transferring the DF. Okay. Everything. I usually like the underscore here and then use that one. So the whole thing is really happening now here. And let's look at this one. We went over that a little bit last time, and now we will go and talk about this one, and we're talking about other things as well. Okay, so let's go and open the index. The index we said last time. In fact, we went over a lot last time, so it won't be a bad idea to review that one more time. And if we look at that, what we really have, the first things when I'm opening this one, I am really have the, we have several buttons that she did for different type of charts. We talk about it today, but the most important things is really this section. Why it doesn't scroll? Okay, here we go. It's this two, and this one we learn really how to do, as I mentioned last time. We learn it's for W3 school. We have buttons, and every button, when I click on it, it will show a tab, which is div. It really is a div. Okay, for now, we're making only 2 buttons. Why 2 buttons? Because we have only import and export. And here we're making 2 empty divs. They have nothing, which means really when we look at here, when we refresh, as we did before, we have those 2 buttons. Okay, there's 2 divs here, but they are empty, so we don't see anything. Okay, so that's this part. Now, why does it look nice? Because we basically, let me see, hold a second. There is by the way, you can see that those buttons are inside a div, which has a class tab, and we took the styles for the tab. It makes it looks nice. Like we say, it's like this kind of square here. It really is because of the class, so it makes it looks nice. Okay, but that's detail. You're already getting expert how to deal with that one. Beautiful. We have buttons. What do we want those buttons to do? One, which is we copied from W3 school, since we're using the classes tab links, it automatically knows how, when I click on it, it already have given us the library to show the equivalent div, meaning if I'm clicking on this one, I am automatically will see the one with the ID with the source type. And I think I have to, how does that work, Brenda? Am I right or I'm wrong? Or we changed? I don't remember if we counted on them or we made our own code. But we'll see in a second. We'll see in a second. I don't really remember. Many times I keep it, so many times I create my own. But one thing is for sure. When I click here on the button, this function is being activated. So I have 2 buttons. When I click on this one, that function is activated. Or I click here, that function is working. So let's see what that function does. Okay, in a second we do that. Secondly, and that's the most beautiful part, pay attention, we made a function here. Also click, but there's nothing inside. So who is going to activate that function? We'll answer that in a minute. Okay, we talked about it a little bit last time. I will go over that again. But let's go over this function first. Okay, what is this function does is calling the on click is calling open source. And let's see what this function is, open source. And here we go. And let's see what does it do. If you have a good eye, you can say this function has two parts. This is part one, and this is part two. Okay? And that's the truth. That's the way we built it. By the way, this one I think we took from the W3 school. But we'll get back to that in a second. And we have this one. And this one, everybody needs to know by heart. Okay? What do? We transfer the source. The source could be export or import, depending on the buttons we clicked on. Now, this is also you have to know by heart. That's a trick. It's a trick to help us not to download data we already have downloaded. So if the first time I'm calling this function with source export, I'm going to check this variable called pages, which is an empty dictionary in JavaScript. I'm checking if it has export in it. By the way, you remember how to, also in Python, it works the same. In a dictionary, I can, with a square bracket, I check export. If the dictionary has export, the page will show me something. But if it's empty, it will show nothing. So page will be empty. And this one, if not page, that means if the page is empty, then do whatever it's inside. Fair enough? So in another word, the objective of this trick of making an empty one and then checking if it's empty, it doesn't have the export, is just to make sure that I do this one only the first time. And how do I ensure that only the first time? Because after we go over that again, I went over that last time, I'll go over that again today. By the end here, as you see, I'm filling up the empty pages. I'm adding really pages, and it will put inside export column 1. And as long as I have export there, next time, if I call the same function, this will not be empty anymore, and it will not do that one. That's a logic that everybody must know by heart. I repeat it. I always start with an empty dictionary. First time I call the function, I transfer a variable. I check if that variable already exists in the dictionary. If the variable is not in the dictionary, that means I never downloaded the data. If I never download the data, I would like to download the data. That's going to download the data and put it in the right place. In the very end, after I downloaded the data, to make sure next time if I click on that same button, I'm putting inside the dictionary, I'm putting export, and I make equal to 1. So what this command does, as I showed last time, it's making the pages to look like this one now, after this one. It will write export, and it will write the number 1. Now, next time, when he's checking this one, he will find export. So it won't be empty. And I will demonstrate in a second. Let me demonstrate, okay? Let's do the following. I'm going to make alert page. First time, it should be really null. There's nothing, okay? Hopefully it won't give me an error, okay? So let's go, refresh the page. Okay, I'm clicking on export. The pages is empty. So see, it told me undefined. He's right. I haven't defined anything there. I do okay. He's downloading the data. He put the data in the right place. He updated the pages. So now the pages, this one is not empty. It has something in it. So next time, if I go back there and click the same button again, hey, page is one. See that?
Yes.
It is not empty anymore. It's defined. So it's not going to download the data again. So far, so good, guys. Very important. What about import? I never downloaded the import. So I'm going to click on imports now. I should really get undefined. I click OK. It's downloading import now and putting the data in the right place. If I click again import, it will write number one. Now it's defined. So it's not downloading it again. If I click on export again, it will not download it because I already downloaded it. He found one, it will never download it again. That's a beautiful trick that I expect everyone to know by heart. Okay, so we understood the structure and the relationship. It looks like a stupid way of making something and putting it empty. Not really. Secondly, please pay attention. It is a global variable. When it's a global variable, it's live in the program inside the JavaScript even after the function is finished. So that variable will stay there forever until I close the page. So this is called a global variable. I put it outside of the function. Okay. On the other hand, the page, it is a local variable. It is only inside the function. Outside, I don't know what page is. So from another function, will not know what page is. Only inside the function, I know what page is. Okay, that's the difference between local and global variable. Okay, good. Now let's go to the real stuff. We have seen that before, so it should go fast, and we did some last time. By the way, I would like to do the following. What is really this one, by the way? We have done it many times, but I will do it again and again. I want to do alert. And put the whole things here. Sorry. So I really want to see what is this. I many times explain, this is like telling him, please go to the URLs of UEconomics to the link by this name, meaning go to here in this application, look for get source data. Going there, that means go to this view. That's what I always told you. Okay, how does it do it? And the beauty here is that this one, Django is very smart to convert it to a string, and I want to demonstrate. So let's go and rerun the whole thing, refresh, click on the export. Hey, it doesn't like me. Why? It doesn't like me. Do I need a comma, I think, here, don't I? Let's see. I think so. Most likely. You see anything, okay? Sometimes it doesn't like me. I don't know why. Yeah, it does. Okay, so see what it does. It did a slash UEconomics get source data. Although the logic that we write, we're writing it URLs, UEconomics get source data. What it really does is translating it to a path. And how does it get to here? It's really translating it based on this one. But see, this is only says get source data is smart enough to know in order to get to this application to begin with, it has to go back to the project's URL. In another word, it has to go to the, what is the URL of the project? Yeah, it should be down here, isn't it? That's the setting. That's the static. And here we go. So it's smart enough to collect UEconomics. He add to that one is adding this one. Together, that's what it gets. So it's going really to this place. So hold a second. I would like to make an experiment. If I go here, 127, you're getting this one, and let's add this one. Okay, I already had that one. In fact, that's what he does. When he doesn't put the URL, he doesn't need the domain, he's like doing that one. That's what he's really doing. The only problem is he's expecting variables. So when I do it this way, it's a get. This is a get, that's why I get an error. But the truth of the matter is looking for a variable. So, but that's really what he does. It's like going here, when I go to the browser, is always get command. When I put it this way, is smart enough, I'm going to close this one, I don't need it anymore, is going to here, but he's going with a method of post. And he's also sending a variable because this link expecting a variable. Okay, let me delete this one so we don't have to see it again. Let me explain that it's so crucial to understand. If we look at here, and you look at there, it doesn't seem, no, not this one, I wanted the other one, indeed. See, this one, it doesn't seem he's looking for any variable, okay? If you go to other things we have done, let me see, the main, I think. Let's see if I can find in the main. See this one, for example. Look at this one. This one, it's also expecting a variable here, but this is in a get style. That's a get style, okay? So, and I usually don't like to use that, to be honest with you. It's primitive. It's not Ajax style. And many times you don't want your competitors to know. See how easy we can copy websites from other people? Daniel, am I right?
Yes.
That would be so hard for somebody to copy your website, Brenda. Very hard would be for someone of you to duplicate your website the way we duplicated the Fab House Africa. Okay? Because we don't use this style. We really like much better this style. It seems like it doesn't take any variable, but it's not true. Since I'm calling it in a method of post, okay, is expecting a variable. And I'm sending him, not only I'm calling this function, I'm also sending it a value. So when I go to the view looks like doesn't take any variable, but it's not true. I'm really transferring the variable through the request. And that's the way I take it. And that's sophisticated way. That's the right way, by the way, okay? Now, I know the source. I'm getting the source, I'm getting export. Now it becomes to be easy. I'm going to the data, the source object, and I'm filtering. By the way, a get, let me explain, this is a very important point as well. Both of them will work, and you most likely will make that mistake. I made that mistake until I discover how I should really do it right. You could use the same things and you will learn, and I recommend you learn about filter. And this looks fine, it's filtering, the objects when the type is the source name. Let's say the source name was export. So when the type is export, give me only the record when the type is export. But we know that this one has only two rows, export and import. So this is supposed to return only one row. So far, so good. But if you do that, you'll get an error. Because although it has only one row, is returning a group called query set. So although you have only one, you should really put the number 0. Give me the only one that you have really. But if you had 2 rows or 3 rows, then you put, let's say for the second row, you put 1, or for the third, or this one. So this one is returning a query set. Filter return a query set. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
This one, the reason I like this one, that it's helped me also to find out if I didn't make any mistake. What do I mean by that? Is looking for only one row. Is expecting to have only one row with export. That's why I use the get. This time is only bringing one row, so that's why I don't need to take the 0 or whatever here. So if there were 2 rows with type export, I should get an error. It will give me an error. And I will be happy to get that error to know that I didn't fill the data correctly. Is that right? Okay, so that's, okay. I got one row that reflect export. I got all the record of the product. And by the way, here we go. See the beauty. See product, this is a query set. It has all the product, but we did some trick here just for our own purposes. We don't really need it, but for today it's elegant. We took the first one as a variable. This is really taking the first product out of all the product. This is all of that. This is only take the first one. Why did we do that? That's to help us to really see which years we have, so we don't have to hard code it. I will show it in a minute. Me and Brenda went over that when we did it. Okay, beautiful. Last, it's to pull the data. If you see here, I use the filter. Filter, I'm using this table that has 4 columns. I'm telling him, give me all the record, that's why I use filter, that has the same source. The source is export, and the first product. So this one, it really is giving me 10 rows. How do I know I have 10 rows? Because for every product, I have 5 rows for export, 5 rows for import. So this one is really returning a, no, I think I'm wrong. I think by filtering the source, I already took care of it. I take it back, sorry, my mistake. In here, in fact, I'm getting only 5 rows. Let's say double check. Yeah, I get only 5 because I put the source. If I didn't put the source, I will go 10, I will get 10. We'll do it 2 ways and we'll see. Print, and let's print the years. And I'm getting query set, don't forget. So let's do it again. That's a good exercise, excellent exercise. I claim I get 5. Let's go back to here. Let's close this one. Okay, refresh. I click on export. Beautiful. Let's go back to here. Let's see what we got down here. Okay, let's see what we got down here. We got first one, is that right? 1.
Yes.
I got 2. I got 3. I got 4. I got 5. I got for each year, if you notice. I got for the 2015, 16, 17. All the sources are, if you look at the source, He gave me a number 4. It's the same source. It's probably what the record number for the source. Okay, let's do differently. Okay, let's remove this one. Remove this one for a second and we'll get back to that. We'll fix it again. It's very important to really realize it. I'm deleting this one. Okay. Okay. I'm rerunning it. What happened to my mouse? Here we go. Let's refresh it. What happened to my mouse? It's not moving. Yeah, now it's moving. Good. So I click on it. Let's refresh. Why it doesn't like me? Yeah, here we go. Okay. Let's refresh. Oh, it doesn't like me. It will like me in a second. It's probably restarting. Did I make an error? Did I make a mistake?
Yeah, they run error.
Yeah, why do I have it? Yeah, I probably deleted something here. It should be like this. Is that right?
Yes.
I deleted this one by mistake. Fresh. And let's click export again. Of course, I will get this mess is because of that, by the way. But let's say I understand it. Okay, look at how many I got now. I got already 10 of them. If you already, you can go ahead and count them. You will see 2015, I get twice. Here's 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, again, 15, 16. But pay attention, the source, I have one for 4 and one for 5. And the only reason I did this one is really to know how many years do I have. That's the only reason I'm using it. I don't need it duplicated. That's why we put here just for one source. So I really only want 5 record, and then I'm going to check which years we have. That was the trick that me and Brenda talked about. To later on, I don't really need to hard code 2015 to 2019. I will know from the data itself. So that's why we did it. Okay. Otherwise, it really doesn't have any other purpose. So now I will have only 5. Okay. And now I'm transferring all those variables into the index source HTML. By the way, I used to put underscore in the beginning when I'm building a template which is going to be used as a mini template inside another template. I'll repeat that. I used to name templates which I'm going to use inside another template. Remember that sentence, I will get back to it. Okay? I will get back to that sentence that I just said now. But first of all, let's understand that template. We're transferring to it all the products. We're transferring the source. Okay, we have object called source, and we have 5 record of years. And let's look now at that template. Okay, let's look at that. First of all, if you look on the top, we have the name of the source, the type. And the truth of the matter, this one is, let me refresh. I think we fixed that already. Here we go. If I click on export, please pay attention. I see the word export. Is that right?
Yes.
By the way, hey, this one is the mini template that I'm creating now. And after I get it, I put it inside the page. I repeat, the template we're talking about right now, this one, is going to be in the view, being sent back to whom? It's going to be sent to this one. Who called that function? That code called that function. So I'm going to get a template, and the whole template is the data. Everybody see that?
Yes.
And that data, I'm going to put inside the bigger, and I will get back to that again. Okay, I'll get back to that again. So let's go back to understand this one first. How is that one being created? That's the point of today, one of the points of today. So let's look at that, and let's see how it does it. So we go into here. First of all, he's putting the title. Then he's creating a table. And the table, it has a title for the table. That's the first row. Is that right? This is the, is freezing on me many times. Yeah. This is the first title. And what do I put in the title? Let's look at it again. I have the SIC2 product and the years. Everybody see that?
Yes.
So how do I create that row? First of all, a row is a TR in table. So that's a row. What do we have inside? So I can really even show it this way. It looks nice. The first one would say SITC2. TH is for title. Yeah. And then I have a product. That's the second one. So you can say, really, these are the first two. The first one and the second one. And then I'm going to add another 5. And how do I do that? This I'm being smart. I know that in the data we have only 5 records. So for every record in the years, and we know the years has 5 records as we saw here. You see here, the query set in the bottom. I got each one of them and I pull the variable year. So for every Y in the query sets, so it's going to go 5 times this loop. And for every year, for every record, it takes the variable year, the column year. And he's putting it between TH, meaning he's really putting here 2015, and then put the second one, 2016. And that's the way we really get the rest of the title. Is that clear, guys? Mildred. Where's Mildred? I missed her. Where is she?
She's not present.
Daniel, everything's cool?
Yes.
Beautiful. Jerome?
Yes.
Mark, don't be discouraged.
Yes, I'm around.
Even if you don't understand everything, listening to it is very important. Don't worry, one day it will make sense. Okay? Jerome, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Good. Very good. Very good. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. What do we have here? Who is that? Obviously, I will call you right back. I'm in the middle of a class. I'll call you back in about half an hour to an hour. Okay? Bye, sweetie. Bye. That's my son, by the way. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
What is my email? Anybody know by heart?
Yes.
Almost.
Amos at Dr. Barales. Why did I buy the domain? I mean, this is my own domain, drbarales.com. Why did I buy it? Because one day I wanted all my children to be doctors. So this is my son from the US. He just called me from Chicago. He's Dr. Abraham Barales. And one day, God willing, I would love to see you guys touching the sky. That's my dream. You'll make me so happy to see you touching the screen, you know, being a consultant in Academy City, my dream to see it will be a prestige. And I believe, honestly, when I see the level you guys getting to, no question you can get there. Okay? So that's for another time. I just wanted to make a comment, and I really do believe in your ability. Big time indeed. I wouldn't waste my time otherwise. And I'm not wasting any time. I think you have such an amazing ability that it's a shame the country doesn't know how to use it. And we will show them how you can really use it. Anyway, let's get back to our stuff. Now we want to really understand this part. That becomes to be, again, pay attention, as we have a loop here, a small loop, but this is also a loop. So the first loop is I'm going over all the products, but pay attention. Since products is a query set, if I want to go over all of them, I must put that all, no parentheses in the template. You do put in Python parentheses. You can see here. By the way, it will be a very valid. I asked that question. I already put an all here. Why do I have to repeat it? I expected this one that I don't need to put an all in the template. Apparently you do. And unfortunately, this is really inconsistent, because if I put all here, that means I took all the query set. So it should, whoever wrote Django should have been more consistent. I shouldn't have had to put the word all here, but you do have. No parentheses. In any way, I'm looping over all the product. What am I really trying to generate here? Pay attention. Inside the loop, I have a TR. So for every product, I'm going to make a row. In another word, for every product, for every product, I'm going to have a row here. Is that right? Everybody see that?
Yes.
Every row, I'm going to make
Yes.
a row here. Every row in the database of the product, I'm going to make a row here. So how do I do it? The first two columns, look at the first two columns. This is the first two columns. The first one, I'm just putting the number, as you can tell. By the way, I made a class left, so I will put the word on the left side. And I made here also a class called left. This is small things, it's in the style. So it will put the word on the left. You see, it's aligning to the left. You can make it align to the center, whatever you want, but that's just small trick, not really important. The most important is I'm taking only the number and the title, this one, the description, from this row, or each row from this list of rows of the product. Then becomes to be the interesting part. Okay, I have another loop inside the loop. For every product, I am doing another loop, and that's the hardest part. Please notice, I have P dot product year data. What does that mean? That means, let's go to the model. Let's go to the models. I go to the models, and if you have good eye, you can see this is, I have the product. I have a lot of products. Remember, I'm looping over all the product, but the product is linked to this table. How is it being linked? How is the link? We use the foreign key. So we have a foreign key going from this table to the source, but it's also going to the product. You see the product here is going to here.
Yes.
So, but if I have a specific product, how do I know which data years I have in this table? To go from here to here, you have to go through the related name. Make it as a habit. Always put related name. Related name links going from the parents, this is called the parents table, to the children table. For every product, I can have several rows here. Okay? That's why we have a foreign key. Remember, it's one to many. It's generating for every product. I can have many rows in the year data. And the link between them, for the P, I can go to his children through the product year data. Okay? So if I go back to my code, I am doing for every year, every Y, in P dot products data, and pay attention to the all as well. By the way, in my opinion, again, it's inconsistency. but just put the all. That's what is required. So I'm really going to get all the years, which there are really 5. For every product, we have 5 years of data. So he's going to get, this is by itself, for every product is returning 5 rows. So I'm looping over those 5 rows, okay? The truth of the matter, I take it back. The truth of the matter, I have 10, because I didn't filter this one. Every P is connected to all the record of data export and import. And to make sure that I don't get the import, if I'm interested in export, we wrote a little condition here. If y that source, it's source. Source is export. And the first time we transfer, by the way, we transfer the variable source, if you recall. That's one of the reason we're transferring the source. And the source, we already got it here. To make sure I'm only putting data for the export. That's a hard one, okay? So I'm making sure not to get bored. And by the way, if I didn't have the if, let's take the if out. Let's see what happened. Don't be afraid, by the way. So what the hell? So you destroyed the code, big deal. You can always fix it, but it's a good way to learn. Let's refresh it. Let's see what happened if I didn't do the if. Oh, you see? I'm getting really the import, the export, but I'm getting also the import. I'm not interested in those ones. This one I'll put in another place. So that's why when I'm putting the filter, it's going over 10 of them. The export and import. A P is linked to that table. The P, this P is linked to this table, has a link to the export and import as well. Okay? That's why we need to put back the condition. This tricks, I didn't really want to do that. This is more elegant and easy. Just to, don't go over the ones that are with a import. Just give me the one that the Y has a source of the same source that I'm transferring. In our case is export. Beautiful. Now that I have the right Y, only the Y that is export, I'm taking, by the way, here, this is I'm naming. This I will get back to that in a second. This is very important. This is a being smart in the way I give a name. Even giving a name is extremely important. Okay? But one thing I do, I take the value. This table has 4 columns. One for the source, one for the year, one for the product, and eventually what the value for that combination. So I'm putting the value. This value, by the way, it's exactly those numbers. Those numbers. This one, this not, this one. And for every year, it's putting those numbers. I'm removing this one. Yeah, if I refresh now, you'll see that will go away. Those one will go away because I'm not going over them. But this is the value that I'm taking from the database. Okay? And when we get to machine learning courses, I will teach you a better trick how to do that. Much more sophisticated, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But this will do perfect. This is already several level about the average person that build websites. Okay, people that build websites, they usually don't know that stuff. Okay, this is beautiful. Now, this becomes to be so important. And I will get back to that. Okay, I will get back to that. Before I get back to that, and the rest is easy. Okay, it's really just doing row for each one of the product and put the data for that row. Now, what is this one? This is a template, basically has a table and a title. It's not really a web page. You see, we're not extending anything. It's a simple table with a title H3. And that's what this view is generating. So in the end of the day, when I'm rendering this mini template, and this mini template coming back to this one that call that function. This is the place we call that function. is giving me back. I call data. You can give it any name you want. I usually like to call it data. Data is nothing but the mini HTML of a title and a table. And what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to put it inside. If you remember, we made two divs, empty one. We made two empty one. Remember, we made two empty one. Here we go. Remember, Brenda?
Yes.
Those are empty. Now I want to put inside the export div. We made one div for export, one div for import. So I want to put inside it, inside this div, the table. How do I do it? I have to link to it. That's why I have an ID. And see, when I named the ID, I did it in a smart way. I used the type in the source. So one will be for tab underscore export, and one will have div ID tab underscore imports. So now I know how to call it. I know how to find it. So let's go all the way down again. All the way down here. This is the trick. See, I'm using tab. Everybody see the tab? Underscore, and I put the source. So if the source that I'm downloading, it's export, I'm really using the archive document that get element by ID. This is pointing me to that div. And inside the div, that's why I use element.inner.html, I put that mini table with the title. Now this is filling it up. Let me do that one first. Let me just show you. What I will do is I will intentionally put it before that alert, and I'll put a data here. You will see data will be that mini HTML, but it still will not put it. Only after that, it will put it on the page. So let's refresh it. I click on export. It's calling the function. The function sent me the data. You see that?
Yes.
This is really the mini HTML. It didn't put it here yet because I made him to stop. Yeah, it's showing me that one. I stopped it before this command. This command now going to take the data, that mini one, and put it inside the div. And that's the beautiful part. So I do okay. He's gonna put it inside the div. That's beautiful. I really think this is a hell of a lot. It's not a simple one. I just want to finish and explain a point that I mentioned before, that we're putting this HTML, mini HTML, inside this mini HTML, going to be inside here, and it's going to be inside the div we created before, which originally it's empty, and now it's full. Now this div has a mini HTML inside. And now it's really when you have a good design. Pay attention, there is a function. Everybody see the function?
Yes.
Before it was empty, so there was no one to call it. Now we have this mini HTML, and that mini HTML, if I click on one of the things, anything I click here in any row, the clicking called bubbling. It's bubbling to its parents. Remember, this table becomes to be inside this div. It becomes to be inside this div. So if I click on any element that is already inside, if it doesn't have immediate function there, which will stop what we call bubbling, it will continue bubbling, it will get to here, and it will activate this function. In another word, when I'm here now, and I click here, in fact, it's bubbling, and who is getting the message? Who is acting? The one that is acting, it's this function. Let's try it, okay? I will parallelize the function. so you can appreciate it. Okay, let me go here, go back to this function. Okay, here we go. Let me kill the function, meaning, no, I don't want to, I don't want to kill it so much. It's a beautiful function. Should we kill it? Yeah, why not? For a little bit, and then we put it back. I will kill everything, so almost. I will just leave this one, okay? I'll put it back. There's nothing in the function. It's not doing anything besides giving me the elm. And I'm going to do alert, and everybody should know that one by heart now. Elm dot outer HTML. This is going to tell me who did I click on? Because I could click on many elements inside. You know, there's the whole table. I can click on many elements here. Who did I click on? So this function, when I get it, it gives me an event, and the event holding inside it to tell me who is the event I clicked on. So let's see what happened here. Let's do it. That's why I killed the function intentionally. Okay, let's leave it. I refreshed, click on export. And here we go. I'm clicking on this one. Look at it. Look at it. What do I see? TD, this is exactly this one. Is that right? Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, let's click on this number now. What do I get? The cell that I clicked on, isn't it?
Yes.
If I click on this one, that's beautiful. So I can write a function that anybody that I click on inside it, on the div that has the function, will activate. I will always be able to know who did I clicked on and act on it. So, and now, by the way, look at the naming. How did I name the numbers? I didn't name it stupidly. Very smart. I called it export because this is export. I gave it the number of the product, and I gave it the year. And then I have the value inside. One more time. Let's click on this one. See the name? Export
Yes.
76, 2015, and that's the value. We're going to use it later on. So, but if I click here, I have the product. Okay, and here, or what I need to know is just to write which number of the product, 77. If I go the same one here, will be 77, but for that specific year, the value. It's this naming is not coincident. When I was designing it, okay, when me and Brenda were designing, this was a purpose. We'll see it next time, okay? For now, I just want to make sure that you understand the whole logic of getting a mini page and putting it inside another big page. Fair enough? Okay. I think we will, I think it's enough for one day. What do you say, guys?
Yes.
Okay. And please, 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 I'm going to upload the video.
Yes.
I'm going to upload the video. And after we upload the video, please review it. We'll continue on Sunday. Okay. Tomorrow, I would like to spend the time around, let's do around 12 o'clock. We will we'll go over the stuff we started with school education. Okay, please just make sure you schedule. We can do even 1 o'clock. Why don't you deal with Mark, help him to set up, and he can join us if he wants, and we'll do 1 o'clock. Okay, and we'll continue the education. Okay, that will be nice. And now remember, next week going to have the exam. The exam going to be on Brenda's program and the Feb house. That's what I'm going to ask and test the student for certificate too. Of course, I will use all the topics. I will be asking all the topics we talked about, but those are the main. There's so many topics we covered. Some topics I'm not going to kill you on because it's not fair. But how to call a function in the view, like what we did today with the post, you must know. Okay. how you integrate it into a mini HTML, you must know. On click, must know. How to add a button, when you click on it, you must know. If we need 1 more week to get ready, we can postpone the exam for 1 more week. The objective is not to really make your life hard. On the contrary, as you know me, is to make sure you get to a high level, okay? It's that's the objective, but I'm not gonna compromise on level, as you know me. So we will continue from here next time. And let me stop the sharing. Now let me see all of you. Hey, Brenda is happy she didn't have to say anything.